So our last speaker, I'm a little sad because this Ignite Houston event has given me so much fulfillment and something to look forward to for the last 5 months. So I'm a little bit of a mixed bag of emotions in introducing our last speaker, Jason Arcemont. Jason is one of Houston's most successful and relentless business owners. In 2008, he started Brightbox Brand Marketing in the heart of the Great Recession, growing it into a multi-million-dollar company within 2 years of launching. In October 2014, he broke a world record for running previously accomplished by a number of people you can count on one hand. Jason cares deeply about incorporating philanthropy into business and hobbies, as he did in his record-breaking achievement. Today, he will reflect on that achievement and tell you about a cause that continues to be relevant to the Houston community and the entire world. Please welcome to the stage father, philanthropist, and entrepreneur, Jason Arcemont.
All right. Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for sticking around. I know it's getting late, so big hand for everybody that stayed. Can we have that? All right. All right, let's go. All right, so I used to believe that child sex trafficking was a foreign issue, right? That it happened in faraway places like Thailand or Malaysia, that nothing so horrible could be happening right here in the United States. I also used to believe that you are where you are in life based on the decisions that you make, that the actions you take literally put you where you are. What I learned over the course of this journey is that I was completely wrong on both those accounts. The victims of child sex trafficking, they're not only local, they're extremely targeted. And while they couldn't do something about where they were, I truly felt that when I learned about this problem, I could. And I wanted to make sure that I did my part to make an impact and make a big impact and make a big awareness of this issue. And so when I looked at that, I had to say, well, what are my gifts? What can I do? I'm not an expert on human trafficking, but I did have the gift for endurance running. So for me, the question was as simple as, well, where am I going to run that's going to raise enough awareness? And I live here in Houston, and I know that I-10 is this major corridor for traffickers. They take humans from one coast to the other through our state, and Houston's a major hub. So I figured, well, hey, if that's their corridor, I'm going to run down that corridor. I'm going to run down the devil's back. And so I figured I'll run across the entire state. Initially, I was thinking, well, I'll do this over the course of a year, but I wasn't getting people, they weren't too excited about that. They're like, oh, yeah, a year. So I had to condense it. I said, well, what the heck, I'll do it in 1 month. I'd run the entire state of Texas over 850 miles in 30 days. That's just over 30 marathons in 30 consecutive days. Now, you can imagine when I said that, people got excited, right? They started donating money to the cause. Sewell Cadillac stepped up and donated a car. I mean, it was unbelievable. I was extremely excited, but the reality was training sucked. It was really difficult. 12 solid months of 100 miles a week in training, keeping up with fitness and mental preparation. I mean, it was grueling, but we stayed on par, we stayed focused, and before I knew it, there I was. I was standing on the border between New Mexico and Texas, about to set off on the biggest adventure of my life. And I'll tell you what, day one was a blast. It kind of came easy. I was full of energy. I finished my miles. I had energy to spare, and that didn't last so long. By about day 5, I was fatiguing. I was getting really tired. I was sunburnt, and I had an 1,800-foot climb on the last couple miles of that day, and I missed my step, and I rolled my ankle. Swelled up like a grapefruit, and that's when it kind of hit me like, oh man, I might not be able to do this thing, right? This might not be possible. And I had to really start leaning on this promise that I had made to families of lost children who had actually emailed me, sent letters to my team and I thanking us for what we were doing, encouraging us to keep going and to stay focused. And so it was a big mental game. And I wish I could sit here and tell you that this was simple, right? That we put the time in and it worked. But the reality is I learned very quickly that through great sacrifice comes great reward. That if we stay focused on the plan, that we continue to push ourselves, our bodies will rise up to the occasion and do what we ask of it. Now, it was extremely physically straining as well. I was doing over 6,500 calories a day, still lost over 20 pounds that month, believe it or not. And yeah, it took a toll on my body. I spent 25 marathons on a hurt ankle, but I had so much of a support system. I had my brother-in-law was out there riding a bike almost the entire way, taking pictures. My friend Brian Hudson put this into a book. It's on Amazon now, the Texas Freedom Run. So we're still generating revenue. And staying focused, before I knew it, there I was about to cross the finish line. I'd run across the entire state, through my hometown, through Texas, through some of the streets that are just known for their seething massage parlors. And while I should have been filled with all this joy, I kind of finished really feeling kind of sad, because I wish I could sit here and say that I ran across Texas, I raised over $200,000, and we ended child sex trafficking. But as you know, the reality is that is not true. It is a huge problem. Nationally, we have over 300,000 children at risk of being trafficked every year. That's domestic children, guys. I'm not talking about immigration. That's a whole other issue. I'm talking about innocent children here in the United States that are being trafficked. And that Fort Bend County, right here in our backyard, is so bad that they had to create a special task force just for this. Now think about what that means. Fort Bend County, domestic child sex trafficking. It means that there are kids going to school with our kids every day who are being trafficked at night and on the weekend. Think about that. Now, one of the biggest lures for this is large sporting events. And I know Super Bowl's coming up next year, and sure, it will bring a great economic impact to this city, but I want you guys to be aware that it will also bring some of the world's worst criminals right here to our children. So I am pleading with you guys to get educated, get involved with some of these great organizations, get in touch with me if you want to learn how to get involved. If you've got time, donate time. If you've got money, donate that. But I ask that you get educated, get involved, spread the word, and let's help make the difference in the lives of these children. Thank you guys so much.